For as long as I'd lived there, the fence between our houses was just there. Pale wood, slightly warped, the kind of thing your eyes pass over without your mind ever stopping. Until one evening changed that. The sun was sinking low, casting everything in a soft gold when I noticed my neighbor standing on the other side of it. I had been clearing storm debris from my yard, arms full of broken branches, sweat on my neck. She cleared her throat. Not loudly, not confidently, just enough to be heard. When I looked up, she was gripping the top of the fence like it might disappear if she let go. Her eyes were tired. Not sad exactly, more like someone who had been holding herself together for too long. "My name's Elaine," she said, her voice unsteady. Then, after a pause that felt heavier than it should have, she blurted out, "I haven't had anyone around in a long time." I froze. The words landed awkwardly, and she immediately rushed to explain, cheeks flushed. I mean help with things, repairs. Since my father died, everything just keeps breaking, and I'm so overwhelmed." That's when I understood. Not embarrassment, not implication, just exhaustion. I set the branches down and stepped closer. "You don't need to apologize," I said gently. "What's been giving you trouble?" Her shoulders dropped like she'd finally set down a heavy bag. "The sink leaks, the porch light flickers, and the garage door sounds like it's angry at me." I smiled. "Let's take a look." That was how it began. When I stepped into her yard, I noticed the signs immediately. Nothing dangerous, just too many small things piling up. Loose boards, overgrown weeds, a shed door hanging crooked on tired hinges. Inside the kitchen, the leak was worse than she'd admitted. Water had warped the cabinet base, and she hovered nearby, twisting her fingers like she expected judgment. But there was none. I rolled up my sleeves and worked quietly, tightening, sealing, adjusting. "I tried," she said softly, "watched tutorials, bought tools. Every time I started, something else went wrong. I felt ridiculous." I didn't look up. "You're not ridiculous, you're human." The room settled into a calm silence, the kind that feels earned. When I finished, I stepped back. "Try it." She turned on the faucet. No drip, no leak. Her face lit up like a sunrise. Over the next few days, we tackled the rest. The porch light, the groaning garage door, wobbly railings. I showed her how to use a drill without fear, how to flip a breaker safely, how to trust her hands. I never spoke down to her, never rushed her, and I watched something shift. One afternoon, while adjusting pantry shelves, I noticed a photo taped to the wall. Elaine standing beside an older man with kind eyes and a crooked smile. "My dad," she said quietly. "He fixed everything. After he passed, every broken thing felt like I was failing him." I turned to her. "He wouldn't want you struggling alone." Her eyes filled, but she didn't look away. What grew between us wasn't romance. It was respect. The quiet kind of trust that forms when someone shows up without expecting anything back. One morning, she knocked on my door holding a plate of blueberry muffins, flour still dusting her hands. "This isn't repayment," she said firmly when I protested. "It's gratitude." We sat on my porch, sharing muffins, listening to birds argue in the trees. Then came the moment that surprised us both. I slipped while fixing her porch step and scraped my arm. Nothing serious, but she rushed over like the world had tilted. "Sit," she said, already pulling out a first aid kit. Her hands trembled as she cleaned the cut. "You've helped me so much," she whispered. "I don't want anything happening to you." That was when I realized kindness had changed us both. She had needed help, I had needed purpose. As summer passed, Elaine grew bolder. She fixed a hinge herself, changed a bulb without hesitation, mowed her lawn with a proud grin, waving like she'd won something. Then one afternoon, she knocked again, this time holding a toolbox. "Mrs. Alvarez down the street has a broken gate. Think we could help her together?" And we did. That's how kindness spreads, quietly, naturally, from one open hand to another. It was never about broken fixtures. It was about remembering that no one is meant to carry life alone, that asking for help isn't weakness, and offering it isn't charity, it's humanity. Now, when the sun sets over our street and the fence catches the light just right, I don't see wood anymore. I see a place where two strangers chose compassion. And I know this for certain: kindness doesn't just fix what's broken, it reminds us that we still belong. So if you're listening to this, remember someone near you may be holding more than they show, and one simple moment of saying, "I can help," might change everything.